All right, we are back with another off-the-shelf video. Today, we are going into a deep dive on The Incredibles. This is one of our favorite movies. I don't know we waited so long to do this. We've done a bunch of other off-the-shelves, but I think I'm personally really excited for this one.
Oh,
because
I'm excited as heck, man. This is an amazing movie.
I love the aesthetic of this movie. It's set in 1962. It's kind of vague, but that's like the official year people give it. In the city of Metroville, which is kind of a mix between Smallville and Metropolis from DC Comics, which I didn't
did not
realize
know that.
Yeah, I was doing some research for this. I was like, that's fun. I enjoy that.
That's cool.
So many little details that they put in this thing. It's awesome.
But like with the style of the 60s, like the whole vibe with the news and everything at the beginning, and then the drama with the heroes going off this, like everything's just so cool. Because the CIA stuff, like the cover-ups and everything. You don't realize those things as a kid when you're watching these. So like going back and as you get older, catching all these small things. That's what makes a good movie a good movie.
It is iconic. The style that they do with the interviews, like some guy tries to kill himself and Mr. Incredible sues him. Like there's attempted suicide. There is, like superhero genocide, CIA cover-ups. It is all over the place. But it all just meshes so well and creates such just a unique, fresh thing that it still holds up because it feels timeless.
And the chemistry between like Frozone and Mrs. Incredible and Mr. Incredible like is established right away.
Yeah, the chemistry between all of the actors, it feels real. All the characters they're unique, and
like they've been friends, they've been married for like, and even when we jump ahead and they're married for years, like it just feels like they've been married. And they're going through that, like, Mr. Incredible's not happy with his job. And like, it's so relatable, even though he's a superhero.
And Jason Lee, who plays Syndrome, amazing. His second best performance next to Alvin and the Chipmunks. I love it. It's so good.
I didn't know. Who's he in Alvin?
He's Dave.
No way.
So the guy who screams Alvin, he's Incrediboy.
Incrediboy.
Yeah.
Fantastic. He's a fantastic villain. I don't even know what else to say about him, but
I think a lot of this also just goes into Brad Bird, who directed this movie, because a lot of people know that, he voiced Edna Mode, No Capes Lady in the movie.
No capes!
They had a Lion King situation where they got a lot of like the lower tier animators, I guess, to like kind of work with Brad and make the movie the way that he wanted it rather than the company kind of wanted it. And it sped out. Who would have thought you give creative people more liberties and they make better things? What a concept.
It's wild when you're like, just let the project be the project. We don't really care.
Hello, I like money.
Yeah. And it does way better than anything you produce. So, like,
but this checked every checkbox. Why does nobody like the movie Wish by Disney?
Yeah. Real quick though, you mentioned the no capes.
No capes.
You were telling me about that fact earlier. That was awesome.
So one of the most iconic scenes in the movie, well, there's so many iconic scenes in the movie. You could list like at least 4 of them. But one of the main ones is where, Edna Mode's like, no capes. You can't wear these capes because capes get caught in the airplanes. They get caught in all this other stuff. They'll kill you, whatever. But this movie came out 20 years ago and they couldn't animate the capes. So they're like, well, let's just not do capes at all. Or at least not for any of the main characters. We can do them like little clip side pieces where you don't really have to focus on them. Like it's not part of any of the main costumes. But
yeah, I'm kind of curious now. I kind of want to go back to those scenes where they pull them into the jet and stuff and see if the capes look crappy or something.
And you can kind of notice that with the hair, because with every Pixar movie, they try to like elevate the technology a bit. So I think in 3 years before this, they did Monsters, Inc. And that's where they did a lot of the hair technology for like, Sully and all of them. But with this, because the hair looks good, like with the scene where they go in the water after the plane crashes.
Yeah.
And the hair's a bit wet. It's kind of like, it's a bit rough. The hair looks a bit rough, but it doesn't pull you out of the movie. But after knowing that cape fact, and I watched, I was like, oh, this might be kind of linked maybe because it's harder to do kind of the flowing stuff like that.
So it's probably linked to it being a B-type movie where they weren't investing into the new technology. Because like you said, every movie that's come out, I feel like they invest so much into a specific aspect.
But I still think it holds up. I think
I
think the animation itself really does hold up. Because you do look at some older movies, not older, but like, that come out like, a couple decades ago. And it's some of that, it doesn't look too good. But I think overall with this, it's like, I don't have any issues.
And I also think overall, Incredibles just, the animation does feel simple. And it's a good type of simple where they're taking out all the complexity and just giving you the simple, exactly what you need, where you need it, and make a great plot. And I think that's one of the strong points of the movie too, is that they're not trying to overcomplicate. Because I feel like a lot of the new movies now with Pixar, they try to bring in these complex like animations, trying to change new styles, and then they drop the ball on everything else, which I think is an issue today, is that they're always trying to be like, yeah, we made this new cool thing. You should love it, even though we suck at making movies.
And I think if you have a good project like this, all of those other things that they usually focus on now, they'll work themselves out. Because, like, I mean, it's like the story's amazing, the animation's great. I mean, the music is so good.
Oh, yeah.
I love the music of this movie. I mean,
the score is amazing.
The intro song is amazing. The Glory Days. Then they also have, like, you know, his workout song. And
that whole montage.
Yeah.
Oh.
And it's all music where you think, it's like, oh, I just know that, you know?
Yeah.
And you think of some of the other movies, you know, and you kind of think, do I know the music of that movie? It doesn't really stick out as much. But
yeah, and me personally, I'm not. I know some people really like listening to scores and putting those on. You're one of those people.
Yeah, I'm one of those people.
I'm definitely not. But this is one of the scores that I could recognize instantly because it's just so iconic. It's kind of like Star Wars. Like, you know the score.
Yeah, you just hear the, and it's just, yeah, it starts going and all the trumpets going and everything. It is a very good score. So there are a lot of behind the scenes stuff with this movie that I didn't know. So we did talk about a little bit how before the video, how Fantastic Four had to do some reshoots.
Yeah.
The two earlier Fantastic Four movies, the original one and Silver Surfer.
Sorry,
Yeah.
to cut you off. So the Fantastic Four came out 2 years after this, or 1 year?
1 or 2.
Okay.
It's like a 2005, 2006. This is 2004, 20th anniversary. But so apparently there were a lot of similarities with the original script of the Fantastic Four. So they kind of moved it away from like kind of the family style movie, because that's how the Fantastic Four usually operate. They're more of like a family style unit.
It's amazing what happens when you make a great movie. Now everyone's like, oh, I don't want an original idea. Let's just do what they did.
Yeah. And that's because they caused issues with some of the Marvel movie with the Fantastic Four, but then there was also some DC stirring the pot too, because DC has a character called like Elastigirl, and which is a lot like Elastigirl, which is from The Incredibles.
Yeah.
So in all of the promotional material for the original Incredibles movie, they had to call Elastigirl just Mrs. Incredible for the whole time.
Okay.
And they kind of do drop that early in the movie. Like, it's more focused in the second one of Elastigirl's movie.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
But throughout the movie, it's like Mr. Incredible and The Incredibles, but it's like the Elastigirl's in the Glory Days, iconic opening bit. But then throughout the range, she's kind of just Mrs. Incredible. And I don't know if that had a factor on that at all.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. I don't know, because you would think that they would be making the whole movie before DC or anyone knows about the naming, right?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe.
And like you said, it was a small DC hero. So
oh, yeah.
I would feel like they wouldn't care unless it did well.
Well, but before the movie comes out, I'm assuming it's a lot of like other stuff where it's like, hey, you kind of have a thing that's like our thing, and we will kill you.
Yeah.
But then once the movie comes out, and now Elastigirl is more famous than Elastigirl, which she's been in a few things. She was in, I think she was in like that Doom Patrol TV show, that live action one. Have you heard of that?
No clue.
Well, then we're just gonna not talk about that then.
Okay, sounds good.
It's going away, just like Elastigirl, which I think they call her Elasti Woman now. She grew up.
Wow.
Also, that we talked about beforehand, which I'm going to show you a clip of this at the end of this. And also, we'll add a clip at the end of this video, because it is crazy. The original Mr. Incredible cartoon that they made for promotion for this movie.
Okay, yeah, I think you were mentioning this.
And the styles of the 1960s style, like, animation, but it has, like, the annoying orange style, like, you put a mouth over the...
That's wild.
It's weird. It's
That's
so
wild.
weird. And there's a little rabbit guy, and there's, like, an evil giant corn man.
Is there actually, like, stuff like this in the 60s that were made like this?
It's just, well, you know, like, when you look at all, like, the Batman's, like, Rogue Gallery stuff, you got, like, you know, Condiment King and stuff. It's stuff like that.
See, I don't follow that stuff, but
If you've seen Lego Batman, though, right?
Yeah.
And they pull out all the Rogue Gallery stuff.
Yeah.
So it's kind of in the idea of that.
Okay.
And it's all just the weird style, goofy stuff they did in the 60s before, you know, superheroes became cool and everybody wanted to watch a Marvel movie.
And this came out like right after the movie, right?
Yeah, it was
like promotion.
It was promotional material. Okay. I don't know if it was on the DVD.
Is it easy to find? Are they like...
It's on YouTube.
Okay.
It's not like a whole cartoon. It's more of like a one little thing just to like in the spirit of
Incredible.
Yeah.
Nice. I'll have to check that out. We'll throw a little clip up for you guys.
Let us know what you think about The Incredibles down below. Also, check out our other off-the-shelf videos where we dive into all these other fun movies that we love so much. And also, let us know what you think of this amazing clip we're going to do at the end.
Thanks for watching.
Frozone, the disappearance of the West River Bridge is startling. What dastardly demon could have done such a dirty deed?
This is one wild scene, Big Daddy.
I'll crush you, Mr. Incredible!